I have been promoted to the 4th district of the Gold for 3 years. He went to the airport to pick up Bai Yueguang's in a bowl. I left a letter and a book. Kang's plane ran away overnight. I thought we'd never see each other again. Later, he missed the press conference of the 10,000 kinds of main purpose. It's just because I heard that I'm fighting. Move me to grab the bag. The entity is uncomfortable and stays first. I'm a pregnant heroine. The promotion of the white moonlight. Ever since I was a child, the voice of the system was in my head. He said you were a pregnant heroine. When I work in the future, I will meet a president named Shishu. He's your match. The system hasn't been explained to me yet. I'll just explain it to me. My mouth was like a leak from a small mouth. There are no online novels with a book ban system in the domestic goods. Many years older than my ambassador, the knot is like a big pen. Took me to the psychiatric department of the hospital for mental face. This spiritual face has cured the system. I actually started working after graduating from university. My boss is a CEO. And the name is just right in chronological order. I am reminded of the words of the system many years ago. Caught up in Chen Sai, I'm one of the secretaries of the timing. Big always social currency, and coffee have to find someone to arrange for dinner. I'm the one who serves coffee and takes the price out of the tube. It's easy to live on, but DA always has a lot of heart for me when he opens up the land from his own home. The public funds that have been working for a year buy me 2 old 4 silk cars. One is the 4th old man to change the silk. One is the 4th child, and there is no trace of it. Between 20 floors, running up and down every day. I'm all in the circle of friends. I don't want to go to work anymore. I want to go to Lumei Mountain. I like to go to work and I feel like I'm wearing it. Let's go to work. Work that can't be defined. Work that can't see tomorrow. Work that can't be hit. Work that doesn't get ahead, and work that is happy to pass the wind. I want mountains, I want sea, I want love, I want freedom. Hell, because I continued not to look at the circle of friends, I didn't notice that I forgot to remember him. One day, he stood up to me and actually reported the news. Love, don't send me a message. Do you really hate going to work? At that moment, I doubled my current. Lian Rolling climbed up to the little red squirrel and sought the help of the Shandongers. The people of Shandong did not come. The fun people are coming. Comment that the nasty thing is not to go to work is you. Didn't reply to his message. The next day he hanged himself at the door of the company. Find your next company. That night, I pitched my resume on the knowledge software. Ponte waited for a reply to the bread dead. After the news boosted the impact, I saw the familiar name. Continued. Don't reply to my messages. Apply for a job here. I almost forgot that there are several companies in the world. It turned out that he stole my rich second-generation life. I fought with their rich people. I'm still reading it back. Is there one? It's the meaning of job hunting. The next day, I pretended to be non-discriminatory and went upstairs to deliver coffee continuously. After putting the plate down, I was about to go out. He mini-sipped coffee, hesitated to cheat class. Teach me to note. Do you want to follow me? I jerked. He explained, we are missing. There is no such thing as a girlfriend. Only follow. Are you someone you haven't followed now? Persistent. Can't say that. Then you want me to be your heel. The word can't be used like that. Didn't get it. Are these 2 words hot mouth? He put down his coffee and stood up. Light shone through the window on his face. It seems that they are clear-eyed. I mean, 500,000 per month. Do you want to promote my home? I touched my face. It turns out that I went straight to this home. Did I say that something needs to be done? Continued after death or the fire of the secretary. However, the office was replaced. The circle of friends is still as usual. Can't flatten my arms. Then my ability to do it is not dangerous. I'll give it back to you. I agreed. After all, he gave too much. Get out of the office. I think it's very strange. Colleagues are checking the water and monitoring the time. I asked him, I'm not looking and who I want to think about. I watched the team for a long time. Said that it was a bit similar to the president's white moonlight. He didn't want to go back to work. Just talk to me about gossip. Continuous white moonshine. Exclusive public branch in Germany. Graduation shake weapon. Calls don't answer. The message does not return. Blowing the wind in the circle of friends every day. Born abroad. Which country to go to? Heaven. Why can everyone else give birth? I can't. Mental state. It's very similar to me. The case has been solved. I'm here to do the lifting. I want to get the system back in my head. But the one who showed me a psychiatrist. It's really a wonderful rejuvenation. Now my mind goes blank all day. I can't help it. Can only be linked to the evil arrest of the basic improvement of literature. Elevation is generally small, and can be used in conjunction with helplessness. Abandoned after the white moonlight returned. I feel like I'm more realistic. I can run on my own. Noon on the same day. I moved into the large flat floor of the time. Rini returns to the palace. Welcome to the revival of the heavens. Shishu is a very classic boss. house. Don't like to be disturbed. There is no guarantee for coming out to read the house. Pan 8 The Shield Mershadon. Sooner or later, you will be hungry and not sick. I was hungry at home for half a day. Finally accepted the reason. The route of the general manager is to be rehabilitated. I used a delivery app to buy the groceries. Then it was the turn of the pot production. Keep coming back. I've already prepared a table of dishes. The lights in the house are on. Everything is as it is. Laughed continuously. He looked happy. But he rejoiced too soon. Hurry at home. In and out of an indecipherable expression. Someone has said that you cook deliciously. I don't have some color fixing. What's wrong? He'll be there. You'll do it. It's hard. My whole body hardened. After hearing the sound effect of the transmutation, I put it down again. Who will have trouble with money? I'm holding the money on a sustained basis. Hired a babysitter and food storage. And then at home. Sometimes it is wasted. Send short videos every day. Because like the president's white moonlight, the president pays an extra $300,000 per month. There is no short video software on the persistent phone. And I specifically blurred my monthly salary. Even if Bai Guang comes back, I can also rely on self-media to eat. Contemporary netizens are not only hot, but also very enthusiastic. I've read no less than 20 stand-in literature. As long as you give the order, I'll be able to make an escape route for you. Can I lie to your housekeeper? I gave all of these comments a nod to them. A few days have passed. The evening came back. He said it as soon as he opened his mouth. You haven't posted on Moments lately. Because I got the money, I lost my troubles. His mental state has changed. I can't get the wind I used to have anymore. Watch me from time to time and send a message. Well, that's part of what I do. I was sad. I looked at the tightness, and he could see that he was steady, and he looked at the darkness. Leave the worship 3 and sit in the junior. Third, in the Chinese tradition, there is the fate of all things, the meaning of ruthlessness and endlessness. On this day, I walked into someone else's house, set up as a junior, and had fun with the first marriage. And then I watched as my face, which had been white, turned red and lightened. He wants to borrow paper, not a junior. I am going to that. What is this? Continuous service is reborn again, and released with one piece. I forgot to ask for it, and I died. What a situation, how bold. How enthusiastic it is. Next, I walked in juching on the blind wood with a gentle pit. A few colleagues took the book of hunger and poison, and started to stir up one after another. The woman who is looked down upon by the president is different. I don't need to move up now, and I don't have to say anything. Can't this chosen person really be me? Do you have to give birth to sex like this? He still didn't know who was good. When I keep coming back, I'm looking at these yin and yang weird circles that are clinging to the visible. It works like a collection taught by an elder brother. The sun is on the corner of the mouth, and a master's hand wants to touch my head. I turned my head and dodged. It's another rack of money. He skillfully turns. Then the presumptuous melt took my hair. The whole hair of the gentle moon stand-in that I carefully made was messed up by him. Shisuo sat down next to me and turned on the computer. I quit WeChat and clicked on the information for the examination. Ever since I became the root of the continuum, he especially likes the home version of the public. He's making money, and I'm leaning back on the CTA while I'm windy. The days of money, and knowledge are too suitable for research. What's more, there is also a one-to-one guide for timing. We all have a bright future. I did this for 10 or 2 years. I have to suspect that he can't force the night in the white moonlight. Big data degree presumption. Small video. A girl stands in the airport, but the long group of yellow, the loose hair, the smile understands. 3 years of study abroad in Germany will definitely make our 5 years. It's going to be as interesting as 7 years. It was simply the most rewarding decade of my life. The sixth sense tells me this is the white moonlight of the time. No wonder the time can't wait for him. I can't wait. I walked away from this video, and I felt very wrong. It seems that I am going to lose this job, with a monthly salary of 500,000 yuan. I was so cranky that I started to have a headache. It seems to be going to grow a brain. I heard a mechanical cause of 9. The system has only said 2 words to me in more than 10 years. One sentence is a strong introduction. One is that you will die right away before they come back. I said, do you fly to death? Is there a pan force? The system ignored me. I continue to think about you, so indifferent. Can't you give me more guidance? The system left the last word, a word that is useless for the right feelings. Beijing surgeon Chang Kong's resu was really bought. I'm ready to go. Before leaving, I went back to the company to go through the resignation procedures. Drag on the service. I was a gold 4th district for 2 years. I also have 2 years of secretarial experience. It's easy to find the next job. I handed over my resignation request to Our. He was surprised to find out if it was. I said, he'll find out soon. Zeng's colleague is angry. Now the government is back. Of course, the review is leaving. With a four-mouthed mouthpiece. NPCG Benner. I don't put suspicion in appreciation. After all, I already have tens of millions of savings. Beauty. A sings, you can't give me a certificate right now. All right. Anyway, I'm going to have a death certificate right away. Lost didn't introduce me to his friends. He didn't bring me to any meetings. Originally, Bai Yueguang came back here. Someone should have informed me. But now, I can only push the guidance through big data. There's such a thing. I'm a little sad. He didn't treat me as his own at all. And he didn't tell me about such a happy event as Bai Yueguang's return. When I got home, I called him and asked, "Are you coming back today?" Through the earpiece, I heard the sound of the horn and the wind of the car moving at high speed. He was on the way. His voice could not hear the emotion, and I didn't have to do my mistake when I came back from playing. Sure enough, I took it, and I asked the chef to do the last good crime for me. I also opened the 7-figure red wine that lasted for a long time, eat and drink to my heart's content, and then let my mother collect my underwater luggage for me. My mother asked me with concern, "What's wrong with you?" As soon as he asked, I cried, I pretended. I didn't get along. Momo left the class. I left. You don't tell the truth. I know he'll tell him, but I still want my grandfather to tell him. This seems to be very sad. After packing my luggage, I left a book for Shuzhua. I got a certificate. The treatment was too painful. I decided to die. I heard that you are going to pick him up and return to China. I wish you happiness. I died first, and I will talk about something first. I left this sad place with 31 listening luggage, and tens of millions of deposits. I didn't expect that it would continue to be sent to find me. I walked down the street with my suitcase in my hand, waiting for the seance of the system. The system heard my strange vision. He said, "You turn around first." I did. Why? Because the direction you just had was the hospital. It seems to me that he has PTSD against the psychiatrist. The system said he would help me recover the death for a few days. In the past few days, under the order of his violent death, no one has been able to find me. If I ask why it's only a few days, because I've been attacked all my life, and I can't attack anyone else. I was reborn to the time when the system first appeared. The system is still half dead. I bought a recent plane ticket to get a few days abroad, just in case I was worried for a few days. I also sent him a message to explain, "I'll be dead for a few days, don't worry, and don't tell anyone. You can watch commercials for a few days to resurrect me." Sister, what's wrong with you? Sister, do you want to see a psychopath? I'm late, and it's all about schizophrenia when I think it's time, so you don't have to worry. Then I died, and after watching the 30-second commercial, I was resurrected on the island. I held the coconut in my hand, lying on it, blowing the sea peaks, and looking at the 8 men of the 4 seasons. On this vacation, I said, I just can't post a circle of friends, which is a little uncomfortable. I'm a very strong thinker. When I can't talk to someone, I'm chatting with the backer. In the days of the belly rack, I went to see it again. Anyway, it's normal for me to talk to Bex. As long as Biko doesn't talk to me. Bai Yueguang, who sent him to graduate, returned to China, and the Stendon who had just finished the first period was also going back to China. When Bai Yueguang returned to China, he opened up Jigu. I sneaked around when I returned home for fear of being discovered. People are sailing on the boat, just getting off the plane. I first broke peace with my sister, and I was alive with and I was angry, and I live. My sister replied with 5 words, "You talked about trying." I heard that the time sequence is in full of events for me. Seeing people alive is about losing when they die, and when I heard the news, I became half dead. When people are in a wasteland, they will seek help from the outside world. I turned on the motionless short video software again. The previous video was posted on the day I died. The white moonlight of the general is back, and there is no limit to the flow. I then took a picture of the moon at the airport, with the caption, and came back. The boss is looking for me all over the world, and then he is going to take a run. One side is in trouble, and the 8 sides are in turmoil, and the comments of contemporary netizens have seen me in good hearts. Ask him, he has a lot of ideas. Move some dogs to point this batch of notes. Generally encounter this kind of problem is a headache. Just go to the point and buy the idea. I know this. Run into the arms of his nemesis, I promised. I've seen the sworn enemy of the truth. His surname is Wang, and he is the president of the Eastern Mediterranean, who is more than half 100 years old. I took a breath, but no one else could be relied on, so I had to hide by myself. The next day, I turned into a travel blogger. Newly created a video and level, stand-in escape diary. Someone's thing stand-in diary of the real line. I think I'm just trying to get hot. But many more were shocked. How did you find this plug? Thank you, I'm not a waster. I started traveling around the country. Because there is money and there is money. I roam a wide range of cities. But every time you pass by, the division of labor continues. I'm all running on behalf of the joint library. Interest. I worked as a travel blogger for a year. First of all, Fans didn't know that I was setting up a stand-in before, so the old fans were in the comment area. Speaking of haha spread strange trivia, the trivia is a stand-in for a certain general manager to escape. There are really people who believed the script a year ago. The trivia boss gave TD tens of millions. Trivia TT accounts are made in order to reach the point of tyrant by Yueguang. I didn't put these comments on appreciation. As we all know, trivia is mostly fake. Recently, Shizun also had a hot search. His company has developed a robot. The feeling is similar to that of a real person, and it's the kind that looks and is customized. The first PG Flower Beast sells robots. It's co-branded with Fire Games, the appearance of the perfect subsection game character. Netizens were so excited that they sent out a sign for the prison. Everyone is also starting to pay attention to the timing. Ma Ni is a young and promising president in her 20s. Novels don't dare to write like this. Well, the novel is thankful. There is no novel that does not thank the president. In addition to the intimate description below the word bow, the timing was opened, and Xuanwen looked at 2 photos. It's not cool to say that. I heard that he still had a daylight. I'm the person I don't like to watch. I continued to buy headcut videos. The operating account of the Love Pit. I didn't expect to suddenly jump off the horse after a few days. The platform has a new requirement of 10 bloggers with more than 500,000 points. The system used to say he'll give me a 7G that the boss is always on. But plans don't dare to change. I watched mine. 3 small words appeared at the back of the IDTT travel version. With 10 people. Make a note of it. 2 more small words appeared. Sanping. I'm on the team. Expect no one to pay attention. But the next day, comments from Korea Daimyo appeared at the bottom of my video. Where is Sanpei going tomorrow? Who is Sanping? Why are they talking about him? Sanping is Tai Tai. It's a nice name. I give this comment a thumbs up. It's nice that you'll cross me. I've been in a state of brazenness all day. Anxiety to the point of not being able to sleep. 3 o'clock in the morning. Keep your eyes peeled. Scatter the idea of killing yourself. Then I saw a red dot. It's a fan in my heart. I had a compulsion to go in. Familiar name. Continued. Also with blue letters. It's over. My brain is warm. The system is also crashing. He said. The plot has become like this, whatever. It is naturally passed to the bridgehead. I can't say it at all. The end of the eyes until dawn. Another hot search. I had a pair of flying circles, and saw the live broadcast room. When he introduces the product, he should be self-clear, and a little fast. To the extreme king, the mainland said that now the live broadcast room can also be opened and plasticized. Is Mr. Shi's mouth borrowed? The pole ring continued to shield the shield and slowed down again. The number of people in the live broadcast room continues to rise. In the ongoing presentation, everyone was excited to meet each other. I am going to customize a robot that I push. The last self-employed fell. Continue to vacate the seat position to someone else. Then leave. It looks like it's really urgent. I made up for it. Then get up to catch a plane. When you don't see it, you don't get tired. Be a freewheeling travel blogger. My IP won once a day. It makes sense. At that time, it continued to be in the market of Jiangsu's Senfeng City. I have flown to Anhui when he didn't stop and just flew to the river. I'm already in Henan. He chased me and fled. We ran to 18 provinces. It has stimulated the economic growth of the tourism industry. It is replaced by the times. I'm in the BMB. The time is outside of the cessation of resentment. Look at me. My apnea was instantaneous. Get out of your tattered script. Take an ugly look. We've played the don't reunite scene. I don't know what to say. Lao Tzu. The foolish narrator remembered. I didn't expect it. We'll see Sanping here. He responded. Late at the hands of other men. He didn't look at him separately. Where did I come from? How I don't know. I took a breath. The system is really unreliable. 10 more than a year. I met Shishu again. She became much more crispy. The complexion is hidden. The eye collar also has red snow. She used to go to work and love to touch the rest. Crispy from the inside. Maybe I'm too tired from the short circuit lately. I say, you haven't heard a word again. Revenge. She briefly laughed at me. Laughing strangely. I'm her tone. You didn't come at the right time. He was visibly nervous. The back of the hand is slightly protruding. I'm killing the hall. While saying, it's hard to eat it months early. Now the most is gone. Let you run for nothing. He said, didn't run in vain. I'm here for you. My heart was beating away. I've got both of us a little bit. When people are in the desert, it's busy with each other. I put it in my mouth and killed it again. Put it in the hands of the real drama again. Say something more. The system hasn't been handed over either. I sat in the courtyard and on the top. Do a big bag killing. Continue to stand in the silent explosion of the sugar bureau. After my hands were yellow, I finally figured out what to say. But I'm uplifting. Sustain the good minority penitent what it means. I'm handing over you have a white moonlight of Elbert. I just look like him. You will collect me as his periphery. He said, I take you as an uplift from 6. Everyone says that it doesn't take a lifetime to believe a man's words. I can't do it. I need to find a chef. After working for most of the day, I came back from the Science and Technology exhibition to visit a kitchen. I put my hand on the lie one. You're saying it again. Timing. He listened lightly. Positive discrimination. I've been a lift from 680. It's true. I thought about it for a moment. Then why don't you bring me to any kind of meeting? Am I very unsightly? That's what it's written in a lot of novels. The general manager will attend the sample meeting with promotion. Who Tom Dog smiled at the acquaintance, said that he actually found a white moonlight periphery. Or ask, what about your roots? Brothers have roots. It's impossible to say the timing. I guess I don't have roots. And he said in the last words, because you are very open-mouthed. I feel like my mental state is not in a position to be in the same way as my society. It took me half a day to think about it and remember that I had a social phobia. I am very open-minded. I always wait until I get off work. Very introverted. I don't dare to talk at work. I can only be a 1-2-3-eyed person. The heart of the selection of the formation was put down. I somehow became lighter. I take a deep breath and keep you remembering. He whispered, didn't listen, remembered something. Whatever you remember, in short, you remember first. He doesn't make sense to be good. I'm not a stand-in. I'm a little happy. My brain is a little nourished. My love brain seems to be growing. And I'm going to keep it out of the blacklist. When he asked me to be his root envoy again, I recorded a 3-point bullion, 3-point filial piety, and 4-point man's meticulous filial piety. What do you think? I am still the poor filial piety of the year. Continue, then you are. I am this year's poor filial son. After finishing filial piety, I am now a 1,000,000-point blogger. I don't care that his melon is early, although his melon is indeed a little bigger. It used to be before, and now it's a babysitter. I can only force the money to turn around when I am working. Because when a man is rich, he becomes noble. He is low and beautiful, and he has a look of ending in the middle of it. Can you give me a chance at the truth? I say, you say, in other words, that expression is too powerful. Commitment to continuity. Continued cerebral congestion. The reality is next door to me. After the product was sprinkled, he seemed to become very disgusted. Every morning when you shoot video footage, I'll see him in his maternity gown, separated from the leave, carrying the water-paste scorched flowers. I suspect that her fear of opening the screen, because when Chenshin fell, her angle, that posture, very good-looking, to the fold line of seclusion in the mountains and forests. After she handed over the pair of flowers to Half-Dead, I walked towards her, and then gently leaned on the departure, and quickly pulled a 20,000-finger vote. Only 20,000, because I am more empty. I will ask, do you want to follow me? Continue you. Also point to the vote, blind. The return bid many years ago still hit her. She nodded. Now, I also have someone to follow, and the director is anti-heavenly, and the system is a widow king. And I don't know how to deal with the subsequent emotional lines. He would rehash the strip script every day, and then tell me coldly that he should have asked you back. You should be arguing. I don't listen. The actual person is good-looking, and he will kill me in the sugar bureau. He will occasionally come to such a few straight words, and if he suddenly becomes evil, I will break the inner bowl. You go. My feet, that bowl, aren't you going to pick up your white moonlight? Although according to the current plot of the Spanish Spicy, the moonlight does not exist. This sand and tang bureau is a little sour, and it makes my antagonism sour. Actually soft Russian feet. I picked up my cousin that night. When I heard the word cousin, my little brain shrank. I didn't open my mouth to ask, and the system didn't open my mouth to say. I committed suicide with a cup of milk tea, and after I was actually taken, I showed my face in the video. In the past, I rarely even showed a single strand of my hair, for fear that my hair would be a little sour, and the same as the improvement of the old runner. In fact, he didn't like to rush up. The first time I showed my face, the fans were shocked. Hopefully I saw the famous headless anchor show his face. I believe that this episode does look like a big chase, commenting on why people are taller than each other, and like sugar water too, and those who love each other like to be oily. Because of Irasu, there are also people who have discovered that blind spots are not solutions. How can your background be the same as Shizun's? Shizun also posted a photo of the mountain yesterday, accompanying the text "Put yourself in an underframe" line. His modest style copywriting feels more like a decade of internet buying. One of my latest videos has gone viral. Ascension is not actually a script. Didn't brush me. It's also a kind of brushing me. It turns out that I am the devotee of the novel I. NPC netizens. Facts are marketing ghosts. Take the opportunity to give yourself another heart. There has been a wave of heat. Return to the boat with the news again. I collect my medicine to participate in the activities held by the platform. The content of the event is probably to earn a lap on stage, then socialize with other influencers ineffectively. Before the event, I watched the familiar blogger next to me. The price of escape. It's still very too. Family. Every beauty who comes to Hangzhou has to be broadcast live for the family members of the Mold Amplitude Force. Very nice city. The price of my hand. I do as the locals do. It took half an hour. After the next wave, the system told me to me with the legend. It's time for the White Moonlight to meet. I have 3 old accounts with him. Why didn't you say it was an explanation earlier? He replied lightly, if the male and female protagonists have long mouths, can it still be called a pregnancy? I want to give him a mandate, but he has no substance. The continuous expression also came to the scene today. He is still the long group of bullet emperors, with loose hair and soul body, revealing the attack of high branches and power generation. He gave me a gift and a spoiled flower effect. I've been a penny for years. When I think of the big criticism I sent at the beginning, I felt the same pain as the literature. I shouted to double the flow and hit the ground with my toes. The continuous expression is an old talk. He pulled me to sit in front of me and photographed me as a boss miss. It is said that the continuous IQ is full, but the emotional intelligence is not divided to a point. The way to like people is to inexplicably let people be their own roots. He learned the tone of other people. A sheep blamed him. There is no girlfriend in the circle, only follow. A group of people who don't follow too much. I am an enemy, low blood. Is it glorious? He laughs so loudly, you're so funny. I arrived at the right, the possible, the objective. The activity ended very late, and continued to come specially to pick me up and take me back to the hotel. The performance is very good. Secretly give him memory points. At the door of the hotel, I pushed the door into the case. The second time I pushed the door into the case. Pushed 3 times and found that it was the turnstile door. And I walked in casually. He continued to press the corners of his mouth and didn't laugh. I fell into Chen's side just playing memes. Everything is under control, but I'll wonder if you can understand my abstraction if you don't go on time. I'm afraid he'll treat me like a fool. I want to update the circle of friends who pretended to be dead for a year. Shoved in. Push the covert in. Push the covert in. Push the covert in. Push the covert in. After pushing 99 words, it turned out that it was a transfer gate. More once explained. It's not funny. Continuing to comment on the silly ones that have nothing to do with them are also very cute. In the evening, I was on the live stream and cut the vlog of this event. I was going to cut some scenery into it, but the portrait can only be photographed by people from heavy-packed people. I cut it while talking to the fans. By the way, I went to the time to lighten it. The stand-in is a fake script. Food is not that kind of person. Contemporary science CP netizens only listen to what they like to hear. What the food continues is your ex. I'm not the boss. Someone pretended that Bay was not her husband. I would like to paint the moon dark. It seems to be somewhat understood. How did the legend of the White Moonlight come about? I saw strange trivia again. Trivia is actually the predecessor of the commodity. I think this piece of cold knowledge is true or false. First of all, there are no objects here, only roots. This can barely disperse the front roots. I took it on a boat for a week, and it began to run around again. In the past, in order to hide from the truth, and the batch is changed once a day. A lot of places haven't been well netted. I knew a travel route. It has also set a course for the inspection of factories and branches. The route overlaps most of mine. I fought with the rich man. I remembered that a long time ago, I was still a secretary. He often carries extremely high. The male secretary flew everywhere. It's the same as traveling at public expense. My academic credentials are too high. The consistency is full and too low. I could only shout tired and run up and down between the 20 floors. Now it's good. I'm flying around, too. Under the supervision of the waste system, we confirm the relationship. The illusion of the system is crying in my alliance. Why are we together? According to my plan, the male protagonist of the chase will write at least 3 lives to the rabbit. I went to the rabbit to write 3 lives, and people would die. System, healthy love is difficult to import. The torture that came alive and died was wonderful. I gave him a comparison in my head. A steady stream of new companies went public. My fans are also close to 10 million, and I am also competing for the sun. We all have a bright future. At a party of continuous investment, I was late to him, and Sheng Zhuang attended. The rich second generation named Lang Lang looked at me with a troubled gaze. The chronology is strictly cut 1, my roots. Tens of millions of big bloggers looked at the timing, gossipy eyes, What is the relationship between Mr. Shi and you? I'll cut it tightly, my roots. So you are, the common root of evil. Behind the scenes, someone is resisting. Is the subject touching his mouth this time? I smiled slightly. There were no objects in the wall, only roots. It's hard for the rich second generation. Then I'm a rootless person. I was clearly aware that the body of the time sequence was Jian. When I was young, the words of the were enough for him to regret for several years, and after I made the relationship with Shisha public, there were blessings and doubts. But it doesn't matter, they are just NPCs in my world. The system disappeared on a normal night. Go to Ben to take off the tattered, he seals it no, in the end, I wrote a stroke, and in the end, Sanping lived happily with Shishu. Full round. The story is just over today, and the United States and Japan are updated.